It's Josh Goldstein coming at you. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, one and all. Hello. Today we are talking about the August 2024 Visa Bulletin. The August 2024 Visa Bulletin. That's what we're talking about. And I'm here to answer all of your immigration questions, or at least try to answer your questions. And I appreciate you spending time with me. If you don't know me, my name is Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer who really cares. I'm passionate about helping you reach your immigration goal. Whatever that goal is, sometimes it's citizenship, sometimes it's a green card, sometimes it's bringing a loved one to the US. All of those things are possible for you. And the one thing that I want to mention to you before we get going, and I want everyone to keep this in mind, is that we have an election coming up very soon. And there's a damn good chance that Donald Trump is going to win this election. If he wins the election, who knows what's going to happen, but it's going to be terrible news for anyone who's an immigrant or has a loved one in another country. So there has never, ever, ever been a better time to take care of your immigration case than right now. Absolutely right now. You need to take action on your immigration case. Veggie Burrito says MAGA. Yes, a lot of people love MAGA. I'm not one of them, but I'm not here to debate politics. That's somebody else's job, not mine. Trump is going to deport them. Yeah. I'm not here to debate politics. Whether you like Donald Trump or not is your own thing. What I'm here to do is to help you reach your immigration goals. And let's be honest, Trump is not a friend to immigrants. He despises immigrants. He has a racial hatred of immigrants. And whether you support him or you love Donald Trump is not the issue. The issue is, what can you do to put yourself in a better spot? And now's the time to take action. Now is the time to take action. January 2025 is coming sooner than you think. It is the 11th hour right now. I've been practicing immigration law for more than 20 years. That's why you should listen to me. I've seen it all, every trick in the book. I know a lot about immigration law. Mod Good, thank you for everything you do. Grateful forever. Thank you. Job is making America corrupt by buying judges and getting away with this crime. The world watches. I'm not here to debate Trump. Some people love him. I don't. Whatever your position is fine. What I want to do is help you reach your immigration goal. And Trump, in my view, is an obstacle to immigration. I don't think Biden is a friend to immigrants, but whether it's Trump or Biden, I think it's time for you to take action. Keely, thanks. Good job on the Nairobi consulate issue. Thanks. Appreciate that. So let's get right into the issue at hand, which is the August 2024 Visa Bulletin. If you have an immigration case that is subject to the Visa Bulletin, for example, you have a green card and you petitioned for your husband or your wife or your children, or you're a U.S. citizen, you petitioned for your adult children, or you have an employment-based case that's pending in the Visa Bulletin, then every single month you look at that Visa Bulletin and you ask yourself, what's going on with the Visa Bulletin? How can I reach my immigration goal? Where is this Visa Bulletin today? That's what you think about. And that's what I think that you need to focus on. Now, what happened? Every month the Visa Bulletin is issued, and every month you can see whether it progresses. And by way of background, what I want you to know is it does not progress in a logical, linear fashion. Marisol. We have Marisol says, hey, hire Josh. He helped my husband who was stuck in Mexico during COVID. So good to see you here, Marisol. You are in the Hall of Fame. I just followed you now on TikTok. By the way, we are live on TikTok. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, and we're live on LinkedIn. We're also live in a Facebook group. We have a Facebook group with more than 20,000 members. It's free to join, and it focuses exclusively on visa delay issues, which are so important to us. And if you're interested in joining the group, reach out to us. You can find my link in the bio of all these channels. I'm also going to put my personal email here for you if you want to email me about your immigration case. This is an easy way to do it. It's also in my bio, but I'll put it here anyway. The U visa, how long does it take to respond? It takes forever. It takes a very, very long time. It's very hard. Aref says, please focus on your answers. We know this information. Well, Aref, you know this information, but not everybody does. So there's that. Overall, my general opinion of the movement for the August 2024 Visa Bulletin is that there is extremely little progress, okay? Very, very little progress. So let's break that down. We'll start with our focus on employment-based cases. The most important one, the one that I watch most closely is the F4 category for family-based cases. And in the F4 category, that is people who the F4 category is for people who applied, U.S. citizens applying for their siblings. I always tell people the sibling petition is the retirement visa because it takes so long that if you apply for your brother or sister, they can effectively retire in the U.S. Nevertheless, in the F4 category, there are lots of people in India and Pakistan and all over who've been waiting and waiting and waiting for these categories to continue to become current. And the truth is, right now, it is not for F4. The August 2024 Visa Bulletin is essentially unchanged. It's unchanged except for the category in Mexico, which advanced by 2 days. So in 30 days, there's been no change. Belle says her priority date is July 2019. What's your category, Belle? Please let me know. F1. So let's look at F1. So by way of background, F1 is for unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. So if you are a U.S. citizen and you petitioned for your unmarried adult children, it takes time. And there are different categories, and all of those categories are unchanged. So there's been no change in the past month. There's no change for F2A. F2A are people who are green card holders who petition for their minor children and their husbands or wives. That F2A is unchanged. We also get to the category of F2B. F2B are unmarried sons and daughters, 21 years or older, who are permanent residents. And that category is also unchanged. F3 is unchanged. Actually, no. F3, by the way, F3 are married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. So you petition for your U.S. citizen son or daughter, and they got married. That category increased. It moved forward by almost, let's say, 3 months. It moved by 3 months for all countries, for China and for India. So what I would say is, if you're waiting for your family-based case, it's going to take some time. Check it each month. And this month, we find a very little to no progress for people in family-based categories. So that's the news. And now I will answer whatever questions that you have. If you have a question about your immigration case, post it in the comments and I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll answer your question. So Joanna Reeves on TikTok says, what do you know about the new Parole in Place program and when can we start applying for it? So let's take your second question first. When can you apply for the new Parole in Place program? The answer is not, that hasn't been announced yet, but my guess is that you'll be able to apply in the fall. So it could be September, could be after August. Now, this program was announced by the Biden administration, and I've had Trump lovers who say, oh, well, Biden, President Trump, if he wins, is just going to undo all that. And that may be true, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't apply as soon as you can. Now, what is the Parole in Place program? Parole in Place essentially solves the particular problem, this particular problem. You've been in the U.S. for a long time. You came to the U.S. when you were little, and you have lived a good life in the U.S. Maybe you even have DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival. You might have DACA, and you are married to a U.S. citizen. If you're married to a U.S. citizen and you have DACA and you want to get a green card, how do you do that? Well, you came into the U.S. without inspection. So how do you get the green card? In the past, the answer was to apply for an I-601A waiver, but those take many years and they're hard to prepare. And now, and you have to go to a consulate abroad to get your green card, to get your visa to come back. So now, Joanna, you can, with Parole in Place, you can come up with a new way of doing it. You can apply for Parole in Place, and Parole in Place will give you the ability to get a green card within the U.S. without leaving, without going through the I-601A waiver. It's a better program than the I-601A. If you are eligible for Parole in Place, you should do it. If you have a pending I-601A waiver, then you should apply for Parole in Place. Basically, anyone who's eligible should apply for Parole in Place. Will Parole in Place exist after Trump becomes president? I have no idea. I can't predict the future. But what I do know is that it's a good program. I believe in it, and I would advise anyone who's eligible to consider applying. Juliana on TikTok. I'm a U.S. citizen. My husband's waiting for his I-601A approval. He turns 10 years in April. Does he qualify for Parole in Place? Well, whether he qualifies for Parole in Place is not something that I can tell from your question. But if he qualifies for an I-601A, then my guess is that he probably qualifies for Parole in Place. And if he's waiting for his I-601A to be approved, I would highly recommend that you consider applying for Parole in Place. And I would love to help you with this. You can reach out to our firm and we can do a free case evaluation. Mazala followed me. Thank you for doing that. You're smart. Ibrahim, I've been waiting for asylum interview for 3 years. Is applying for Mandamus advisable? Yes, it's not only is it advisable, it's highly, highly recommended. Why is that? Because 3 years is an unreasonable time to wait for asylum. That's crazy. They never interviewed you. They forgot all about you. You spent all this time, energy, and maybe money preparing a very careful application for asylum. And then what? Nothing. They just forgot about you. That's not good. That's not fair. That's not legal. And you should sue them and get your asylum interview and hopefully get yourself approved. And why should you do this right now? Why is it so important that you take action right now? If it's been 3 years and you have a work permit, why not just let it keep going? Well, the answer is that we have an election coming up. Trump may win. And if Trump wins, what do you suppose is going to happen to your pending asylum application? I don't think anyone will get asylum if Trump wins. I think he'll cancel everything. Is it legal to cancel pending applications for asylum? No, it's not. But, you know, when Trump became president, he put into place a Muslim ban, a ban on people from Muslim countries. Was that legal? The Supreme Court said no problem, perfectly fine. So I don't think there's any, if Trump were to shut down the immigration system after he became president, I don't know why it would cause any problems. So take action now. I know we can help you with your pending asylum application today, but I don't know what it will be like in the future. Mohammed Aludi, our friend from YouTube. I have a nephew who's 17 years old right now and has a priority date of December 2018. He has a twin brother who's already under administrative processing for over a year at the U.S. Consulate in Nairobi, or sorry, in Cairo. So I'm not sure what your question is, Mohammed. What type of visa is at stake here? I'm not sure, but I would consider filing a mandamus lawsuit. Abdurrahman Khalif, sue the Nairobi Embassy Consulate, the worst corruption and consulate in the world. I agree with you wholeheartedly. We file a lot of lawsuits against them. Lorena, is it bad that I got asked about public charge? My husband petitioned for me and I answered no. Kate from Canada shared this live. Thank you so much. She says, encourage more viewers to share. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you a billion times over. So why would it be bad to get asked about public charge? Public charge is a requirement for anyone who applies for a green card through marriage. So not only is it not bad, but it's expected. Is there a way that I can talk to you personally? Your guys are working on my case. Yeah, just email me through the link above in my bio. Would love to give you my opinion. A lot of times people on my team will tell people, give people advice that, you know, we've all reviewed it on our legal team, but they like to hear it from me. Ali Yu, my family is stuck in Kenya as refugees. Can you help? So here's the situation. We help a lot of people who are refugees, but some people we can help and some people we can't. Here's the difference. The way that you get to the U.S. as a refugee often does not directly involve a U.S. visa petition. If there is an underlying visa petition, we can definitely help you. For example, if you come to the U.S. as a refugee, you are eligible to file a visa petition called an I-730. You can apply for your husband, your wife, or your children. But what happens is that sometimes people say, yes, I have a refugee case, but it's unclear whether they have an I-730 case or they have just a case that involves no visa petition and it's just a petition through their family. So I guess my question would be, was there an underlying I-730? When am I coming to Columbus? That's a good question. I haven't scheduled that yet, but I will. And there'll be tons of information online when I schedule it. And Abbas, I would love to meet with you. I'd love to get some coffee. I'd love to chat with you about your immigration case to see how I can help you out. Let's see here. All right. Dominic said, what's the situation in the Ghana embassy now? They're not giving an interview. What's the situation? They're not giving an interview. Okay. So every consulate in the world, the consulate in Accra, the consulate in Cairo, the consulate in Jerusalem, etc. Every consulate has an obligation to schedule your visa interview. within a reasonable period of time. And they often fail to do that. And that's where we come in. If it's been a year or more and you've been waiting and your case is documentarily qualified and you haven't had an interview yet and the case is just stuck, then we can file a lawsuit and challenge the delay. Shin Willie on TikTok says, what are some of the things to expect in an interview, marriage-based interview? Okay, the two things that I think, Shin Willie, are you listening? If you are, let me know in the comments below. So if it's a resettlement case under the UN, there's nothing that I can do to help. Shen Willie, two things that I would recommend that you do. Well, first of all, I recommend that you lawyer up. This is a good time for you to have a lawyer by your side. I would love to go with your interview to your interview. But in general, here are some things that I recommend. Take all of the applications you filed for your marriage-based case and print them out. And then read through them. And you should know all the information. You should know it cold. If they say, what's your date of birth? What's your, did you get divorced? How many kids do you have? All your biographical information. Where do you live and work? All that information, you should have it down cold. You should know it. If they say, when were you married? And you're like, I don't know. Like, who knows? What's your wife's date of birth? Like, you should know all that. The second thing you should know is that at your marriage-based green card interview, you're going to have to prove that your relationship is based on a true and genuine marriage. So it's not just that you're legally married, but it's that your marriage is not just something that you did to get a green card. That's important. That's really important. So do you live together? Do you spend time together? Do you have photos showing the two of you together? All of these things are very important, okay? Does having a child together is considered during the U.S. processing? If you're trying to get a green card through marriage and your goal is to prove that your marriage is based on a true and genuine relationship, then having a child together with your spouse is strong proof that your marriage relationship is genuine. Probably definitive proof, right? Here is Abd What does it mean to redo my citizenship interview? They only marked speaking and understand. I don't know. It's hard to tell from that question. But if you went to your naturalization interview and they gave you the English language test, anybody who wants to become a naturalized U.S. citizen has to pass a very, very basic test on your English language skills. It's not complicated, but it is important. And if you go to the interview and you don't pass the test, then they probably will give you another interview. Chuck Sneed says, of course, a Goldstein is an immigration lawyer, LOL. I'm not sure what that means, but I'll take it as a compliment. Proud to help immigrants. Devoted my entire career to helping immigrants. And this is what I do. It's what I'm all about. So I love it. Immigrants get the job done, and I help them do that. Ayat, amen. Can you sue the government again if the judge ruled to dismiss your lawsuit? It's possible, but that's very case specific, and I'd have to look into that. Syed says, hi, I spoke. Should I be worried? I don't know what that means. Any update on the Parole in Place program? I have lots of new information about the Parole in Place program. I'm making some videos today. That'll be great. But if you have specific questions about Parole in Place, let me know in the comments. Kadir Hino. Hi, I'm in Nairobi. I'm waiting my immigration case since 2015, and I'm Somali. I would love to help you. Let me know what's going on. If you have questions, I can help you. What determines a strong asylum application? You have to prove well-founded fear of persecution based on race, religion, ethnicity, membership in a particular social group. We don't handle new asylum applications. Kadarhino says, I have questions. Is there a way to reinstate a terminated I-130 that was terminated 3 years ago by the NVC? I guess my question would be, why do you want to do that? Why was it terminated? Why do you want to do that? Why not file a new I-130? Or why not file a new I-130 and then try to reinstate the other one? Some ideas. Here's someone who says, dude, can we start approving law from a different perspective, law writing? I don't know what that means. Is Nebraska the fastest processing office? I don't understand what the purpose of that question is. You apply based on where you live. So it's not like you can do something, you can't change it unless you move to a different part of the country. But are you really going to do that? It doesn't make sense. Do I have to redo biometrics for adjustment of status if I did it for military PIP? If you get a letter in the mail telling you to do biometrics, you should do them. And Lysandra, it's good to see you on here. I'm hoping someday, Lysandra, I'm hoping that someday you log in and to my live and you tell me you got your green card. That would make me super happy. Here's someone who says, I am illegal. What are the next steps? Please help. First of all, the term illegal is not one that I like. It's kind of a slur. How can someone be illegal? Nobody can be illegal. You can do things that are against the law, but immigration is not even a violating immigration law is not even a criminal offense. So let's not use that term. Let's use the term undocumented. Or you're somebody who doesn't yet. Abu says, can I please hire your team for my asylum journey? If you've already filed asylum and your case is stuck, then I can help you. Kate, thank you for sharing my live. I'm going to follow you. You're a hero. You're the best. Let me know if you have questions so I can help you. As far as helping you with your asylum journey, we don't prepare and file new applications for asylum. We do help people whose asylum applications are stuck. Hamid, any news about administrative processing? Yes, administrative processing is terrible, and it continues to be terrible. And Kadarhino, thank you for sharing this. I love my Somali brothers and sisters, and I love helping them. I love Canadians too. Everyone, Black Boy joined us. Prophetic Prayer Altar. Ayad said the judge dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice on a lawsuit that I filed after waiting for 8 months, only after the interview. And now it's been 18 months. So could I sue them again now that it's been so long? It's possible. If you're in administrative processing, there are basically two ways out. One way is that you can file. One way is to keep waiting. But I don't think waiting is going to solve your problem, is it? How long are I-601s taking? Probably about 4 years. That's why we file a lot of lawsuits to challenge the delays. What are some good examples on how to show physical presence the past 10 years for parole in place? Pay stubs, medical records, school records, transcripts, maybe car registration, car insurance, medical insurance, dental records showing that you went to the dentist, pictures of yourself with your family, report cards. Let's see here. What's my WhatsApp? It's 213-770-4101. You can't call, but you can text at that number. 213-770-4101. I don't give it out on social media, so you can have it here. But Yaya Boys said you skipped my question. Let me go back to your question here. Can you repost the question? I need more caffeine. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Sarita says, how do I get the Ankara embassy to respond to inquiry emails sent through the inquiry form over a month ago? Well, you can't. They don't respond to those. Or if they do respond, their response is the equivalent of no response. It's just highly automated. So I don't think you should pay much attention to that. Is there a way to change your status from ESTA to green card? My husband's a USA citizen. Yes, there is. If you need help with that, reach out to us. We can help you make it happen. Syed says, you never skip me too. Syed, you never asked me a question, Syed. You told me, you said, my passport got returned for the U.S. Embassy. My visa's refused. They had it for 6 months. So what's your question, Syed? Hamid said, is it true that a lot of administrative processing is going to end before the election? No, that's not true at all. Dave said it's been 80 days since USCIS received his RFE response. Does he still keep waiting? Yes, you did. Just keep waiting. Will Trump go after people with a 2-year green card married to a U.S. citizen? If you're a legal permanent resident, then you have the right to stay in the U.S. and be here. So I don't think you should be worried about that. Let's see here. All right, on TikTok, I have switched to subscribers only. So if you're a subscriber on TikTok, you can go to the live. And if you're not, then you should subscribe so we can get you in there. Syed, my question is, should I be worried that they sent it back to send 6 months? Should I now file a mandamus lawsuit? Well, Syed, whether you have your passport or not, now you have it before you didn't. Your situation's unchanged. You're seeking a visa. Presumably, you deserve to get approved for the visa, but you're stuck. You're waiting. And you have two choices. You can keep waiting, right? Which is what you've been doing for the past 6 months. Or you can take action and you can stand up and say, I'm not going to keep waiting anymore. And if you do that, you can fight to get the visa that you deserve. Is a group writ of mandamus lawsuit possible for the Islamabad, Pakistan embassy? We've gotten better results with individual lawsuits, which is how we handle things. So if you want our help, Danielle, reach out to me. Do I still have a chance for my I-130 approved after 2 months of waiting? I'd need to know more about your situation before I could evaluate your chances for success. What are your concerns aside from the fact that you've been waiting for 2 months? I guess that's my question. Fahad says, please answer my question as well. Okay, Salam. Thank you, brother. Salam alaikum to you as well. Lots of cases are pending at the Islamabad after an EB2 NIW. No interview dates after 1 year. Will your mandamus service include a yes? So yes. First of all, if your EB2 visa is current, so anybody who has an approved EB2 national interest waiver, like Fahad, I assume that you're like super smart, right? You're probably a scientist or somebody with some exceptional credentials. And I assume that you're really, really smart. And this is your chance to get a visa. And if you've been waiting for a year and you're documentarily qualified and you're waiting 1 year and you still don't have an answer on your and you don't have an interview for your visa application, then you should file a mandamus lawsuit. And the mandamus lawsuit would tackle both getting you an interview and the delay after the interview as well. So keep that in mind. Mukesh, Consulate returned my I-129F case to USCIS. I didn't get any updates. What action should I take? Well, Mukesh Kumar, if USCIS, if the consulate sent your fiance visa case back to USCIS in April, it means it's over. You're denied and you cannot possibly get approved with that visa petition. So what should you do? You should get married. You should have your husband or wife come to your home country or meet in a third country somewhere other than the US and get married. Don't get married online. That's not going to help. Just get married in person and file a new case based on marriage. Okay? That's what you should do. I hope that helps. I know it's bad news, but that's what you should do.